deployment, your daily routine really gets thrown like through a loop, because I remember last year it was even worse, because you would like freak out if you realized for 2 seconds that your phone's not on you, because you never know when you're going to call. The last time my husband called me was 4 a.m. on Friday. And you wake up like that and you answer the phone. And you don't care what time it is that they're calling, you don't care how much time you have. Last time when my husband deployed to Afghanistan, about halfway through it they got internet set up. And I remember once they got that set up, I would fall asleep next to my laptop would be on, it would be on my Facebook browser, and I would just sleep next to it, waiting, maybe thinking he would come on and I'd be able to talk to him, and the quicker I was able to see him, the better. And so right now my daily routine is just holding down the fort.
And then finally, after waiting and waiting and manning the phone and counting the days and becoming the mailman's new best friend, it comes. The day you've been waiting for. Homecoming.
That is up there with like one of the best moments in my life. I was like a wreck, I mean, in a good way, before they came, but we were waiting and waiting and waiting for them to come home, and just waiting for those buses to arrive, and they told us they would start playing patriotic music when the buses were about to come, and you know, just hearing those songs, I just lost it. And then looking around the corner, we saw the lights coming out of the darkness, and it was just like, just this amazing feeling. And when he got off the bus, I found him like right away, and I don't know, we both have said that it was as if there was nothing else going on in the world. It was just us, and like, just we came together and didn't let go for like 5 minutes. It was cool.
Homecoming was really awesome. I mean, it was just like overwhelming. We got there so early. I was extremely sunburnt on my entire backside from being at the beach a week before. And I mean, I wore the hottest thing I could find, you know, like I was just like, this is the night. I've been waiting 7 months for tonight, you know. And whenever the buses finally got there, everyone else, like, you see, oh, your friends hugging and crying, and you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna have that moment soon. And there was another couple like hugging, and I was like, where's Doug? Where's Doug? They're like, he's on this bus, just be patient. And I was looking for him with glasses on, and then I mean, I didn't see him with glasses. I was like, wait, that guy kind of looks like Doug. That's Doug. And we just both, it was like he was like 5 feet in front of me, and we both just stopped, and everything just stopped. And I looked at him, and he was just looking at me, and then I just ran up to him, and I mean, it's just like, holy shit, he's right here. I'm hugging him right now. And that's one of those moments you'll never be able to, I mean, you can't reenact that. I mean, you can't fake it. It's just like a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
When Will came home from Afghanistan, I remember all the buses came up, and it's like such an adrenaline rush, and I was seeing them come out of the buses, and I was starting to see people I recognized, friends, husbands, friends, boyfriends, and I looked at the bus, I said, I know he has to be on that bus, and I was the first person to spot him. And of course Alex was like, I'm taking off in front of you, I know I'm faster than you. Alex ran off, went off to go, shook his hand, and I was telling everybody, I was like, I'm gonna try not to run. I ran, I jumped as fast as I could right into him.
It's moving, you know, as soon as you see them, it's moving.
It's good to know that you always have a friend you can lean on. Hi Bianca. Hi Christina. I love my military girlfriends. They are some of my best friends.
I was fortunate enough to find a very select few girls that I'm very close with and I can relate to.
Thing that I always joke with Christina about is I always say that Christina's like the biggest boot ever.
Boot camp vocab lesson number 1 is the word boot. A boot is a Marine who's fresh out of boot camp. He is energetic and motivated for the Marine Corps. Poor suckers. Hoorah!
You know, it's a really great thing. And it was like, I'd been with Will for such a long time, and Will's just like, you kind of hit past that point. But Christina's with Alex, and he just got out of boot camp, so she's always like, I love the Corps.
Love the Corps,
and she's
love the
always
Marines.
decked out in her motivated outfits, and I'm like, you are such a boot. I was like, you just give it time. I was like, you'll learn, you'll learn.
I can definitely say it's different than my friends, like my best friend back home, because she kind of understands, but not the way that, you know, my military girlfriends do. All the, you know, the ins and outs of the military life, the lingo and, you know, the hardships and stuff that we have to go through. I mean, people can try to understand, but they never really understand like your girlfriends do. So you have that bond, you're a lot closer because you go through those hardships with them.
I lean so much on my friend Samantha Rose, and she was one of my best friends, and I really just opened up to her about a lot of things because she understood, and she lived all the way across the country. We never even hardly ever saw each other, but I felt like so strongly connected to her. And just like my brother-in-law's girlfriend Christina, like we went to high school together for 4 years, and we never talked to each other, never hung out with each other, and now we finish each other's sentences, we're attached at the hip. Like, you are just so strongly connected to people in the same situation as you, because nobody else can like really understand what you're going through like they can.
A bond. They know what you're going through, and you know what they're going through. You know, they're there to support you and vice versa. This connection between other military girlfriends and wives, it's almost like you like have to have it, because in a way that's how you can get through. If you can't talk to them, you talk to other girls, and that makes you feel better.
Mid-deployment is always a time you want to stay close to your military girlfriends. That is why last New Year's Eve, my military girlfriends and I planned a special get-together.
Tutu's last deployment to Afghanistan, me and some of my friends went to New York City. I'm from Missouri, and when I got to Jersey where we met, it was just like, where's the grass? I mean, like, why is everything stacked on top of each other? When I got back to Missouri, I was like, there's grass, and there's cows, and there's squirrels. I don't even think I saw one when I was there. And everything was so big. Like, I've never seen a building so big where I actually had to arch my back to see the top of it. So I thought it was really cool. And
Well, the trip to New York was kind of a little plan we had. Just kind of a girls' night, you know, mid-deployment, something to treat ourselves to in the middle of the deployment. So it was like all of us girls from the different parts of the country could come together and meet up and just kind of relax and like have someone there who knew, you know, what was going on in the deployment. And it was so fun. Like, I wish we could do that again. Like, every stage of the deployment had a different vibe to it, and I look back at that one and it was just, you know, it was just after the holidays, but you know, we're getting kind of to the halfway point, and I don't know, it was just a special time. There's not really a word to pin on it.
I don't know what it is about the military that makes you realize what you want in life. Many people in my hometown thought I was crazy for getting engaged at the age of 19 and then moving my date up. Twice. But it never fazed me. I knew this is what I wanted for my life. So I said yes and never looked back.
Before Will left for Afghanistan, we went to the beach to watch the sun come up. And we were just kind of sitting there, and it was kind of like bittersweet because we were happy to be there together, and it was a really nice moment, but I knew he was leaving soon. And we were sitting there watching the sun come up, and he looked at me and he was like, you know I'm gonna marry you, right? And I was like, yeah, I know, Will. The plans for the wedding were so all over the place at first, and we weren't gonna get married for like a year and a half. And we were just kind of like weighing out our options. And then one day I think we finally were sitting down and we were like, do you want to wait? And we were like, no, we really don't. So we moved the date up till 5 months from when we had moved it up. And we were planning an April wedding. And we were trying to pick a date, and my husband goes to me, I can't promise that I'll be coming home. He goes, our training schedule's so full, you know, I can't set a date. You make wedding plans and then me not be able to come home that weekend and our wedding's gone. And we were both really bummed. And I was texting his grandmother about it, trying to weigh out our options, and she just kind of texted me and she was like, December bride, ? And I was like, you really think we could plan a wedding for December? Now this was early November when we were having this conversation. I was like, in 8 weeks, you think we could do it? She was like, if it's what you want, I think we can do it. So we buckled down, and it was a really beautiful wedding. And a lot of people were surprised at how relaxed I was planning a wedding in 8 weeks, but I was just so happy that everything really came together perfectly, and it was one of the best days of my life.
I've known Will and Bianca a long time, since before they were even dating, and I can think of no two people better suited to represent every aspect of a relationship, a marriage, and love.
This annoying interruption has been brought to you by Nerf.
On a more personal note, it's been nothing short of a privilege to watch as two of my closest friends began dating, fell in love, became engaged, and here today married. I love you both. To Will and Bianca, everybody.